I've always believed life was just a long, tiring road. Some people get cars to ride on, while others like me have walked barefoot through the mud. I grew up in a house that wasn't really a house. The roof leaked every time it rained, and the walls were patched with old plywood and tarpaulin. We didn't have a real floor, just worn out cardboard over dirt. My mom worked as a cleaner. She left before sunrise and came home way past dark. My dad, he left when I was 8 and never came back. Said he was buying bread, but I never saw him again. Being the eldest, I had to grow up fast. My little sister Talia was my world. I woke her up every day, helped her get ready for school, and gave her whatever food we had, even it meant I went hungry. Some days we only had salt and pandesal. Other days, nothing at all. But I always told her I was full. My stomach would grow like crazy, but I learned how to ignore it. The school was hard, not because of the lessons. I actually liked studying, but going there hungry, wearing the same faded uniform every day, and seeing my classmates with their packed lunches made me feel small. During breaks, I just sipped water. If I was desperate, I'd wait until no one was looking and dig through trash for leftover food. I hated it, but I had no choice. After school, I didn't rest or play like others. I worked. I helped in a junk shop, collecting plastic bottles and scrap. I'd carry heavy sacks for a few coins. Sometimes I worked at the public market, helping vendors to help my mom and make sure Talia had something to eat. People laughed at me, called me names, said I smelled bad. I just kept my head down. I didn't have the luxury to get angry. Pride didn't feed my sister. Also, it didn't pay for the rice. My mom started getting sick. First, it was just coughing, then it got worse. She was coughing up blood, but she still went to work. We had no money for checkups or medicine. I begged her to rest, but she said we couldn't afford it. I tried to earn more. I worked longer hours, skipped more meals, and pushed myself harder. Then one day, I fainted at school. I hadn't eaten in 2 days. They brought me to the clinic, and that's when my teacher and guidance counselor found out everything. They gave me food, school supplies, and even offered me for my family. I was so overwhelmed, and I cried when I got the new notebook. It felt like the first time someone outside our home cared about me. But just when I thought things were getting better, my whole world collapsed. It was raining that afternoon. I had saved up to buy a piece of fried chicken from the cafeteria. I was so excited to bring it home to share with my mom and sister. But when I reached our house, there was a crowd gathered outside. I ran inside, heart pounding, and found my mom lying still on the floor. She was gone. I didn't cry at first. I just stood there, frozen, holding the cold, soggy chicken in my hand. My sister kept asking if Mama was sleeping. I didn't know what to say. I felt empty, numb. We couldn't afford a funeral. Some kind neighbors and teachers helped us raise a bit of money for simple burial. I remember sitting by her side that night, holding her hand, wishing I had done more. I kept thinking maybe if I earned just a little more, she would have gotten better. That guilt stayed with me. After she died, I dropped out of school. I had to work full-time. I sold balut at night and carried loads at the market during the day. My back hurt all the time. My hands became rough. I stopped being a kid, and I became a provider. Talia was the reason I kept going. I made sure she stayed in school. I helped her with homework when I could. She was smart, smarter than me, and I wanted her to have a better life. She deserved more than this struggle. One night, while selling balut outside the university, a man in a suit approached me. He was my former guidance counselor. He still remembered me. He told me there was a scholarship I could try for. I didn't know if I was ready, but I felt like my mom had sent him that day. I applied. I studied during breaks at works. I reviewed using borrowed books and written notes on used paper. And then after weeks of waiting, I got the letter. I passed. I cried for the first time in years. Real, heavy tears. Not because I was sad, but because I finally saw a bit of light in this long, dark tunnel. It wasn't the end of my struggles. I still worked. I still worried about money. But now, I had a goal. I was walking a road that led somewhere. I wasn't stuck anymore. Looking back, my life was never easy. It was full of pain, hunger, loss, and sacrifice. But it also had love. It had moments of hope, and even though it didn't have much, I had something no one could take from me. And that was the reason to keep going. Because life, after all, is but a journey. And no matter how rough the road is, I'll keep walking. For her, for my mom, and maybe one day for myself.